is yours truly. I am Bongo Banks. I am back. I feel like it's been such a long time since we've had the Banks family and everybody joining us for our spaces. I feel like we haven't been uh, as active on the spaces specifically as we have in the past. But we're really excited to bring you guys something different this time. We want to bring you guys something new. And today is going to be pretty different. If you're joining me, I'm waiting to see a couple people join us as well here. Uh, it's going to be in a special opportunity because we get a chance to be able to bring in several other people who are going to be joining and having conversation. But specifically, I'm going to be having a conversation with Mr. Banks. So I am excited. If you're joining in for the first time, make sure you like and share this so many others can be able to also see and be able to join and listen to what we have. Today is going to be a special because we're starting something different that we haven't done in the past with our spaces. We're starting a kind of a new concept that we want to do on a weekly basis, maybe something that's going to be episodic that we're going to be calling bank statement. So I am quite excited for all of you guys to tune in, and I think it's going to be really good. I have my friend, he's part of the Banks team as well, so he's going to be also tuning in. It's going to be Mr. Banks. I'm gonna let him say hello as well, so you guys can make sure you hear him.
What's going on, everybody? So happy to be here.
Yeah, so we're very excited. We're very excited because we believe that it's going to be just kind of a great time for us to have conversation, to talk to you guys a little bit about, okay, what we believe we're building here with the Rob Banks community as a whole, our project and the vision that we're trying to do with JTV. So we're going to talk about that. We also know that it's been blood in the street. The market has been a little bit red. So we want to address that. And we want to address some of the issues they're having, not just for Rob Banks as a whole, but just the market at large. We want to have that discussion and those kind of conversation all together. And also we want to kind of give some commentary on, what do we think, how the market is happening and all the things that are happening specifically with the market. We want to have those kind of conversations. So we want you guys to tune in. What's going to be different about our approach now is that we're hoping to start doing these on a weekly basis. We're hoping to start having what we're essentially calling bank statements on a weekly basis. Obviously, it's a play on word of the word because we're Rob Banks. But a bank statement essentially is on the weekly basis, we'll talk about finance, we'll talk about crypto, we'll talk about some of the roadmap things that we're doing and all that so that you guys can be able to know, okay, where we are, where we're going, what we're trying to do. It's going to be incredible. We might even have some guests that we bring on at some of our bank statement episodes. So it's going to be more like a podcast approach style of spaces, but we still love our X community, so we want you guys to participate in that. If you have any questions or if you want to be able to jump on stage and ask us questions as well, we'll allow you guys to do that. So it's going to be really incredible. So make sure you share, make sure you get as many people as possible to like and share this. We're giving away a $50 USDC to 2 winners. They're going to be winning $25 each. So that's going to be awesome. So Mr. Banks, how are you feeling? We're here. We're back into the streets of crypto. How you feel?
Yeah, I'm absolutely excited. I'm glad, we've taken a little break from spaces and our formatting and just super excited about just reconnecting with the community.
Right.
And just, we've been building, we haven't slowed down, that's for sure.
All right.
So this time right now, just seeing what we're ready to do, what we're going to talk about today, the community as a whole, right? Not just the banks community, but I think crypto, the base community in general, as we continue to build out banks and on-chain TV and just being able to share with the community and get in what we know, right? And what we experience on a day-to-day process through this journey of building banks on base. So, but no, this is super exciting. And, let's just get people in the room and keep on talking and let's move this forward.
Right. For sure. So again, welcome to Bank Statement episode 1. So today we're going to see how this goes, right? So you guys will also give us feedback, right? Do you like this format? Is it really interesting to have both of us here? We're even maybe thinking about okay, we'll have the banks the Raw Banks account as their host, and maybe my personal account with the Mbongo Banks and Mr. Banks' personal account come as co-host. So it'd be easier for you guys to kind of put a face to the name, right? Or a mask to the name. So one of the things that I would like to do is kind of get started on, there's, Mr. Banks, there's many people that are here, they're tuning in, they're listening to us, they're trying to figure out, okay, hey, Banks has been kind of red lately, right? We've seen a lot of things in decline in our market cap. What is going on? How do we change the tide through that? Especially some of our investors, some of you guys who've been here since the beginning, some of you guys who are believing in our long-term approach. Some people are saying that we're rugging, we're leaving, right? So how do we kind of address some of those things that maybe some of the communities might be worried or fearful on that, so that more investors can feel more confident in what we're doing?
Yeah, I think it's easy, right? When it's always going up and to the right, it's real easy to stay excited and get on these spaces and just kind of say whatever you want to say when you say it, and everyone just kind of give you a bunch of love and give you your flowers and hearts and all that good stuff. But the reality is, you really find out who's who when the markets turn.
Right.
And for us, Bongo, we were working just as hard at 30K market cap.
Oh, no one knew us.
Then no one knew us, right? And then, when we get to 2.5 million, we're working just as hard. Exactly. And we're working just as hard today at whatever. I don't even know what the market cap is today. But at the end of the day, I think that's what matters, right? Is that you have a team, like we do with the banks, the banks team.
Right.
And I know I see a couple of them on here today with us, and thank you guys for joining us as well.
Right.
But when you have a team like we do, and I think that's really where we need to really push in these bank statements of spaces that we do every week, that the community, that crypto, that base, that everyone kind of gets to understand who is really behind the scenes of banks and on-chain TV.
Right.
Because, man, we've got a team here, right? It's not just me and you sitting in a room, pushing this stuff, right? And doing all this incredible writing and graphic work and videos, and that there's just all of us. So I think, just hitting on what you said, the important part of just letting the community know, letting base know that, we're here regardless of the market. We're gonna look in 6 months, 3 months, 2 weeks, who knows when, right? But we're going to reach all-time high and beyond.
Exactly.
Right? When we start dropping some of the things that we're working on, one thing I give us credit for is that we're just not a hype, right? We just don't come out here, oh, we're going to do this. No, we do it.
Yeah, we just build it.
We just build it.
Yeah, right. And I think maybe, and some of you guys in the comment, by the way, make sure you share this. Make sure more people know. I see some of you guys who are joining in. Thank you for tuning in. I see Sammy. I see 800 Bullet. I see Launcher. I see Hannah that's there, plural, Layla Land 24. I see Inca, Michi. I see for Alan. I see Wanderer. So I see all of you guys. Make sure for tuning in. 508. Big shout out to all of you guys. And what you said, I think, is so true. I think the idea of making sure that you are building even when you're building in the silence. And I think we're way too much where there's a lot more projects where I'm talking. Oh, big shout out to our friend Ziggy in the building. I see you guys tuning in. A big shout out to you. We actually met Ziggy at On-Chain Summit in San Francisco. So great team over there with the Ziggy team. But I wanted to say, like, these moments when things are maybe not going well, it's like you said, that's when you start seeing who really is about it, right? Building quietly, building behind the scene, continuing to push. And that's something that we're hoping you guys see. As we do a lot of these bank statements, you'll get a chance to know Mr. Banks and myself more. You guys will get a chance to kind of hear our ideas and philosophies on money and investing, some of our background, some of our commentary on current events, right? What do we believe? And we'll talk a little bit more about that further today, like the Bitcoin crash, the things on tariffs, base ecosystem potentially launching their own token, right? So there's so many things that we want to make sure we discuss. So I just want to make sure I say this. Maybe I should have said this at the beginning. Hey, forgive us, but everything we say is
not financial advice.
It's not financial advice. So you need to make sure that you do your own research. Don't take anything we say as an explicit thing to tell you, hey, you need to be buying banks or anything like that. we believe that you need to be investing. We believe that investing is something that's important. We created this project to give people the ability to have a means for which they can be able to learn and earn and build wealth together. That's really at the heart and the model of Rob Banks. So to piggyback on what you said, Mr. Banks, and I wanted to make sure for people who are wondering, okay, clearly, what are you guys saying? We're saying we are not going anywhere. We're not disappearing. We're working harder than before. And I want to say this because sometimes people, because you don't see the behind the scene, you guys don't understand. From essentially when we launched, which is almost going to be a year, we launched November 9th, 2024. We're going to be celebrating a year next month, right? So less than 30 days. Super excited for that. We have something special that we have in store for you guys for that. But we're going to be dropping that on the next bank statement, not on this one. But one of the things I wanted to say, when we launched last year, we already had a team. We already paying payroll. We already understanding that, okay, we're not waiting for people to come and just necessarily FOMO into our token for us to be able to make our salary. Trust me, guys, you don't want to know what our salary payroll is every month. But because we believe in the team, we believe that, okay, we want to make sure that the team is necessary in order for us to give our investors, to give our project for on-chain TV and all these things that we need to do, paying our developers to be able to build a platform. It's not just about memes and GIFs. Like, we want to build something that works. We want to create a community where things are well done, and that takes money. So I want you guys to feel confident to the fact that we are still making the payroll. We are still trying to bring people on. We actually onboarding, like I was talking to my executive assistant, actually is looking for more people to bring on and more. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we keep saying about bringing more people on. What does that mean specifically? But I just wanted to say, I want you guys to feel confident that we are going nowhere. Actually, we're going to be working harder to make sure we believe we're going to be hitting some all-time highs as we're entering into maybe the bullish phase of the cycle. Right? Some people think we may not have a bullish phase. We have a different belief. We think we will. So we want you to feel confident. We're not disappearing. Instead, we're going to be working harder than before. We're going to continue to work harder than before. Any silent period doesn't mean that we're disappearing. We're just heads down building. We're just trying to create, and we believe you guys deserve the best. So that's the reason why we're working really hard on that. So any comments on that, Mr. Banks, before we kind of start diving into some of the other stuff?
No, I think you hit it right on the head, right? I think let's just dive in, right? I think we got a good little group in here now,
right?
But, you know, more importantly than how the numbers, right, is the content that we're going to provide, the information, and just overall for the base community. You know, we're base maxis. I hate to say it, right? We, you know, it's on our mask, right?
Literally.
You know, we love base. We love what they're doing. We you know, and I know we'll get on this on some other bank statement probably on as far as the base community and getting more connected to the base execs and just showing a little more outreach as far as that kind of stuff goes. But let's dive right in, because I think we got some great topics and great things we want to talk about today.
For sure. So we're going to be hitting a bunch of things, and I think it's going to be great for you guys. By the way, if you like this, give us some thumbs up, some hearts. I see a couple of you guys already with that. Make sure that you guys are listening, you know, back and forth, and hopefully you guys like this kind of like, you know, conversational style approach, and I think it's going to be great, right? So,
hey, if I could just add one thing, so I don't forget. I see you just mentioned Ziggy's here. I see Ziggy here. I just hate Bongo that you know Mr. Banks was just in Key West, and I saw a post that Ziggy was actually in Key West.
What? Crazy.
Almost about the same time that I was there. And
Ziggy, we missed you.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry, Ziggy. Much love. Sorry I missed you in Key West when we were down there as well. There were some big iguanas, and I might show. I might post a picture of my trip there. We were eating lunch, and this giant iguana came up to the table, and it was awesome. But anyway, that off track here. But Ziggy, I love you especially, and appreciate all you guys do with your community and all that you do.
For sure, definitely go check out Ziggy. Great guys, you know, amazing thing. Again, we'll start featuring a lot more of the projects that we believe in or like them. So big shout out to Ziggy for coming through. You know, one of the things that's going to be different with our bank statement episodes or podcasts versus like a regular space where we do a chill and chill is that we're going to be talking about, you know, current events, things that we like to talk about, investment, essentially kind of have conversations that we already are having privately, and just say, okay, let's record some of it, right? And for you guys to be able to kind of hear what's happening.
So did you tell them that we're going to talk for 3 hours today?
We're not
like we normally do? No. Okay.
We're not talking for 3 hours.
Right.
No. We want to just keep this maybe 45 minutes max.
Awesome.
One of the things that was interesting. So I was traveling this weekend, and we're working, we're prepping for all these things that are happening. And I don't know about you guys, but out of nowhere, if you're keeping your hands into the pulse of what's happening into the crypto market, you saw a sharp decline that happened. And most people were like, okay, what happened? What happened was, what was the issue that was happening there? Well, that was because of the tariff announcements that happened by the American president, President Donald Trump. And I wanted for us to be able to kind of have a conversation on that. If you've been living under a rock, you might have missed what happened on that day. But essentially, crypto experienced really a crazy drop. I mean, Bitcoin, I believe, dropped from, I think a high was like it was hovering around 123,000 all the way to like 105,000, which was an incredible drop. And then we saw another crazy drop in Ethereum, all the way down to around $3,700, right? Which I think everybody's expecting, ETH to be able to break the $5,000, barrier, which it will be incredible, and I believe it will. People are saying that the market cap lost over $900 billion was lost. So, Mr. Banks, what would you say? What was your thought process when you saw that big red candle that happened both on Bitcoin and ETH? What was your thought process on that?
Yeah, I had several, and I know we talked about a few of them, but honestly, if you don't believe that market manipulation isn't real, that was right there in front of you.
Exactly.
And again,
okay, for those who do not know, right? Because you use a term, I want to make sure, that's one thing that's different about us. We want to make sure people understand. When you say market manipulation, what does that mean?
Right. So really just when other people are kind of controlling what's going on, right? Before we know about it, right? There's people with, let's not say inside information,
bigger
right?
pockets,
bigger pockets,
right?
But essentially, other people know stuff, and they're manipulating, right? Controlling, trying to get you to do something else,
right?
In the market. So first of all, we got to believe that there's market manipulation in effect here, right? And the timing of when Trump put out the tweets, and then you really got to rewind a little bit more, over the whole market. And what was going on with all the perps and with all the projects that were just, Binance was actually skyrocketing out of control.
Right.
All these kind of things where money was just absolutely flowing. And I mean, it was crazy. It was rotating out of every chain into Binance. So you just really got to step back and look at that market and look at the manipulation, the control, and then I spent a lot of time on Saturday really just looking at the data, right? As far as, what was not conspiracy. We're not talking about conspiracy. We're talking about factual data,
right? Traceable
tweets, transactions, those kind of things that trigger the money flow, right? Because a lot of that stuff, kind of gets, of course, it happened on Friday, right? A very busy news day, going into the weekend. People are at 5 o'clock. Right. People aren't thinking about it.
And the market was closed on Saturday, right? The regular stock market.
And they closed again Monday. It was a long weekend.
Exactly. Because of the holiday.
Exactly.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that really go into play, into play in these decisions. I don't believe it was on accident, right? Let's just say that. But again, the main people that got hurt during this crash, this liquidation event, is leverage trading. Mbongo, leverage trading. And again, if you're a trader, great for you, right? But we believe in investing, right? We believe in investing in multiple assets, not just crypto. But nothing is traders, right? I believe the market needs to have good traders, right? We even want bad traders, right? Bad traders help all of our charts, right? Good traders. How many times have we seen charts where people are selling at a loss? Like, what kind of bozo is doing that? They're rotating, thinking they're going to go somewhere else and make up that loss, right?
So one day we'll talk more about that, right? About, okay, what we mean by trading on loss, especially whenever you're trying to catch an upswing, but you really only are catching a falling knife anyway. So we'll talk more about that in another episode.
Yeah. So really, that's my first little takeaway there is just what happened in the marketplace on Friday. Again, unfortunate. A lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people over the last few days. Yesterday, a little bit this morning, of who've lost a lot of money, and it's disappointing. And the one thing I had, a reoccurring thing that I realized I was telling some of these people when I was talking to them, is I'm like, but do you have solid investments?
Right.
Are you investing into solid projects? And look, we're designed as a meme coin, right? So many. Now, don't get me started, that I believe meme coins are the new altcoin, right? That's another whole bank statement account that we'll talk about. But there are solid meme projects. We just talked about one, Ziggy, on here.
Right.
Banks. I could list a bunch of our friends who we believe are solid meme projects.
Not just because they're our friends.
Not because
but we believe that the project themselves are good.
They're good. What they're trying to do is good.
Right.
And that's really where, talk about Murad a little for a second, right? I believe Murad. I don't believe in a lot of things that Murad believes in, but one thing I do believe in is that you just have to have conviction in something.
Right.
Right. And
conviction
I think
is important.
Yeah. You just gotta have conviction in what you're doing, what you're buying. And I think that, I think the bank community has done fairly well. We've got a lot of good holders that's still holding our token. They've held it a long time.
Right. Big shout out to you guys.
Yeah. If you're on the call, if you're on this space, thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Right.
But I think that's important. And we don't have enough of them, obviously. But I believe we're still young, right? Because of what we're building.
We're not even a year.
Not even a year. Right. But most meme projects, remember, they don't even last. I mean, they're
barely last a week.
Right.
Right.
So I just think it's important to address that the fact that knowing that you have conviction in something that you're buying, and you're not leveraging yourself. Don't invest your lunch money, your rent money, your light bill money. And
so that's you're hitting on some of the fundamentals that, guys, especially the way we're doing the bank statement is going to be very different than what we're doing like a Shield and Chill. I want to repeat that. Big shout out to Liz. I see you coming in, Liz.
What's up, Liz?
Always good to see
Thank
her.
you for joining us.
Right. One of the things I wanted to say, right? So for those of you guys, what happened on the Friday news and over the weekend, so there was 1.6 million traders that got liquidated. Essentially, they were over leveraged on their positions. So either they were, probably most people were probably long assets, right? But they were probably over leveraged. And because now something happens to go on the opposite side, obviously your position is called. So over 1.6 million traders were liquidated during that time, right? Losing close to $900 billion from the market, essentially, that happened during that time. So I think I want to reemphasize what Mr. Bank said. You need to be more financially responsible with some of your investment. It doesn't mean, we're not saying you shouldn't trade. I think you should be more responsible in your trading, but you should be mixing trading and also some long-term stable investments.
Absolutely.
In things that you believe in things that are long-term, in things that are quality stocks, in things that are even quality meme stocks like blue chip memes, which we believe we are one of them. So I think that's something that's really, really important as well. I wanted to kind of piggyback on something you said. What do you, and I don't know, you guys let us know, right, in the comment section as well. Let us know what you guys think about this. How, like, when I got started with crypto, I remember I got started in crypto in 2014. That was like the first time I really got introduced to crypto for the first time. In 2015, that's really when I opened my Binance account and all that kind of stuff. I'm curious. Back then, we used to say, you got to invest in Bitcoin, you got to invest in crypto because it is a hedge against the stock market, right? It is a hedge against traditional finance. Well, what happened this weekend taught us that, well, it's no longer the case, or it doesn't seem to be no longer the case, because when traditional market fall, crypto fell the hardest, right? So to me, I'm a little bit curious on that. By the way, if you don't know, why are we saying traditional market? Because essentially, when President Trump announced the 100% tariff on China, and it basically escalated a trade war, what ended up happening was, because of fear, investors really kind of took money out of risky assets, which traditionally in crypto is still considered a risky asset by many traditional investors. So because of that, That's why we saw so many of the outflows of money outside of crypto. So that being said, can we still call crypto something that is a hedge against the market?
Well, the short answer is no.
Hmm.
Right. Obviously, today it runs with the traditional markets today.
Right.
And again, there's two sides to this, because traditionally that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's just not a hedge against it anymore, right? Where you could be over here and still grow while the other one falls.
Right.
Now the markets are gonna run together,
Mirror each other,
and do similar things. But it's just something to be mindful of, right? In your investing. And again, if you're investing and not trading in and out all day long, then you kind of, like, for me, I actually went shopping Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
Blood was in the street.
Right.
Man, everything was on sale.
Right.
Right. Like good project. I mean, I saw projects good projects.
40% down,
40,
50% down.
60,
Right.
50.
Right.
One of them 65. Good project, solid chains. So I think, when you're an investor and you look at stuff and you say, I'm going to buy this because I'm an investor, I'm going to hold it. I believe in the team. I believe in the project. I believe in what they're doing and their mission. So hedging, kind of being aligned, is not necessarily bad anymore. We lose some of the I guess the early advantage, because like for me, I have very little invested in traditional markets today.
Right.
Just my choice, right? I'm in several assets classes, real estate being a huge one for me as well.
Right.
Crypto, and like you, I was in crypto since 2012.
Right.
Late 2012. But being around as long as we have, we've seen things. We've even said it before. Just holding Ethereum when we were buying Ethereum
about $100
at sub $100.
Exactly.
Right? Like, incredible. And I believe there's still those opportunities today.
Right.
Right. With some of the projects that we're talking, banks, right?
Right.
But some of the other projects that we know and projects we don't know but believe in.
Right. Right.
And
I think what you're saying is so true, though. And I want to make sure that, for the audience, for the listeners, for those of you guys are listening, that we want to state something that's important. You want to make sure you do your due diligence in terms of research, but also there's an adage by Warren Buffett, who is considered one of the greatest really investors of all time. And one of the things that he said, when there's blood on the street, that's when you go to invest. That's when you go buy. That's when you go shopping. You go shopping, essentially, right? It may sound super capitalistic and stuff, but the point I'm trying to say is when others are fearful, that's when we have to be proactive. When others are greedy, that's when you should be selling, right? Again, not financial advice to do what you want with your money. I'm just telling you that traditionally, people who have way bigger money than us have said that, and we're just kind of following some of those same investment principles.
I think you've heard me say this in real estate, right? And it's still similar in almost any investment. You make your money when you buy.
100%.
Right.
Price matters.
Price matters.
Yes.
Right. And there's something else that I know I've talked about and I've said in other groups and with other people that I've met over the years, is that you actually can invest in something, right? Real estate, stock, crypto, whatever, and actually never lose money. And you're like, wait a minute, Sean. Wait a minute. What does that mean, Bongo? What does that mean, Mr. Bank?
Right.
Well, if you don't sell at a loss, you're not going to lose money.
Nope.
How many assets, right? Real estate, stock, crypto that we've held for years,
diamond hands,
and then it moves
out of nowhere. It just goes.
Real estate. You've seen some of our real estate projects,
right?
We buy them for $100K. They're only worth 150, but because we just sat on them a little longer,
right?
Now they're worth 275, 280, 300, 600. So just sometimes just sitting on your hands, right, pays off huge,
especially if you have a good project in which you believe in. And I think some of it, obviously depending on the type of investor you are, what stage of life, what your goals are, you may not hold on to it differently than others. But I think it's really important what he's saying here. When you find good projects, you invest, you stick with it long term, which is really, really good. So you brought up real estate, right? Which I sent this to you over the weekend, and I was like, okay, this is really interesting. So earlier this month, the CEO of OpenDoor he released something saying that, hey, OpenDoor is going to start accepting crypto transactions in order to do real estate transactions, right? They're going to basically take Bitcoin and other crypto, I think Ethereum, XRP, some of the others as well, for people essentially to buy or sell their home or buy or sell different type of assets. To me, super bullish signal, right? But also it shows that crypto cannot be ignored anymore. Like, you can't continue to play the game that is no longer relevant. So I'm curious for you, what do you think about that move from OpenDoor, essentially extending transactions to the cryptocurrency at large? What would you say about that? Because I know you've been in real estate for quite some time. So what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's a great thing, right? I still believe we're years early, right, as far as, you know, crypto in general being
on the blockchain
mainstream
or real estate.
In real estate, you know, that kind of, I think we're going to see transactional. In fact, we already have seen some real estate transactions in Bitcoin.
Right.
You got, what is that? Proppy.
Yeah, Proppy.
They've been around doing a great job.
I think they're on Solana.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and Base. And Base.
Yes.
Yeah, they wormholed some stuff, you know, in other chains. But there, you know, there's actually transactional stuff. But with real estate, and this would be something that I know there's some corporate 500 companies that are looking into it, but you really got to get, because of the laws are so different around the world, but let's just stay in the US, is the way that stuff is recorded.
Right.
So in order for real estate to really get mainstream,
wait. For those who are watching may not understand, what do you mean by recorded? What do you mean?
Right. So let me dig. So what I mean by that is, so when a property transaction exchanges deed, right, or warranty deed, or just depending on what state you live in, the way it's recorded at the courthouse. So in the United States, everything has to get recorded,
right,
when it changes ownership,
right.
So for crypto to kind of go mainstream, we've got to have that side first, and that's the part that. Because that's really, so you can do the transaction. I can hand you, you know, $1 million Bitcoin worth of Bitcoin. You can give me your house, but at the end of the day, it's got to get recorded.
Right.
So until that part gets kind of starts being built, and like I said, I believe there's some companies, non-crypto projects, that are actually working on the blockchain to actually start recordation like that. So. So I think, going back to what you said, Mbongo, is that announcement is incredible, because there's just having the ability to kind of move asset class, you know, and go over here from asset class crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., into real estate is great. But having the back end where there's still, because right now there's still third parties involved. Right. And it's going to be, it's safe to say, I would say it'll still be years until that's resolved, where it's actually completely trustless.
And something that's going to be interesting to see is, would this maybe bring us into fractional ownership?
Absolutely.
Right? Like, where you don't have to bring in, like, let's say $300,000 or $400,000 to get a home, but you, your family, your group of people would be able to bring just portions of money, and our recordation, they could say, okay, well, Mr. Banks, you own this much. Bongo, you own this much. You know, I see Karina, you own this much. Liz, you own this much. So now you could have Ziggy, you might have a piece. Multiple people having essentially ownership in a particular singular real estate property.
Yeah,
which I think that's going to be really good. It's going to open wide the liquidity in purchases of homes and purchases of assets. That's going to be interesting to see. So really interesting. Big shout out to OpenDoor on that. For those of you guys who are in the US, if you're in another part of the world, let us know. Is there maybe anybody who's doing something like this in your area of the world that are doing something similar? So big shout out to all of you guys. I see a couple people here. I see Corollo. I see Crazy Boy. I see Plural. So I see Soulmate. I see you there as well. Big shout out. We're happy to see you. So big shout out to all of you guys. I see Rebecca Dally. Good to see you as well. PT003, he's a regular. Always good to see you, my friend. So now let's go to maybe what everybody's been waiting on to talk about. let's talk about maybe the elephant in the room, right? Which I think is really quite interesting as well. So one of the reasons why we chose the base ecosystem is because we believe our ethos aligns with what Coinbase wants to do, right? Big shout out to Inka, big shout out to Michi, big shout out to all of you guys who decided to beloved. Big shout out to you too. Good to see you. I've seen you before. So big shout out to all the others who are here. But let's talk about base and the announcement that came a couple weeks ago, where we saw essentially Jesse Pollock stating that there's a good chance, or not even a good chance, essentially he's saying, hey, Base is going to launch its own token, just not this year. How do we feel about that? What do you guys think about the idea of Base launching its own token? What is your thought process? How do you guys feel about that idea? There's a lot that can be said. There's a lot of emotions and feelings behind it. We're going to look at it from a personal point of view, right? And then we're going to look at it from a technical point of view. How do we think also that even works technically? What do you think about that, right? Base launching his own token, like some people have compared it to like Solana or BNB, which I think maybe the comparison is not quite apples to apples, and we'll explain why between L1s and L2s are not the same thing. But Mr. Banks, what's your feeling on that?
Yeah, I love this. I actually sent Jesse a message.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
Actually 2 messages now.
Okay.
And I let him know. I said, Jesse, because Jesse had put out some tweets. He's asking for community input about launching the token.
Right.
When he talked about it at Basecamp a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? We met Jesse.
We met Jesse.
Meet Jesse.
Yeah, we met him. San Francisco.
We're not flexing it. We haven't posted any pictures about it.
But we met him.
We just put it in our pocket.
Okay. We have the picture.
but and so he did that. I said, you know what? I'm going to send Jesse a message.
Right.
Right. Because he wanted input.
Right.
And we got good input.
Right.
We got good information. We want to give our input. Right. We want to get in the trenches. Right. We in the trenches. Right. We want to give him. He's got the cabal covered. Right. He knows
the cabal.
He knows the base cabal. Right. He's talking to them, but he's not talking to the trenches. So I did send Jesse a message.
Okay. What did your message say?
Well, again, I'm not going to go into great detail. I want, I'll share it with you all. But,
okay.
But really what I said was just that. I say, Jesse, I'm available for communication about the base native token. If you want to know what the trenches think, let's talk. Right. That's summarizing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now he hasn't. I'm just full transparency. He has not sent me a response. Right. I would love to tell you he has.
Right.
So we could open the floor and we can all start forming our opinions.
Right.
And get them back to Jesse. But when he does, we'll have an emergency space.
We'll talk about it
and we'll get into it. But no. All kidding aside, I really have done all that. But and I do believe that Jesse cares. First of all,
I think so too.
I do believe that Jesse cares about all of us. Right. No matter. I just believe that the ecosystem, even though it's new and small, is still big.
Right.
There's still a lot of people. And really, one thing I got from meeting Jesse at On-Chain Summit was, we're early, but what are your motives as a project?
Okay.
And, I know we talked about it a little bit, but most projects just want their project to go up.
Make money.
And they're gone.
Exactly.
Right. So in defense of Jesse, I believe that it's hard for him to really touch all of us, because are we really genuine on what we're trying to build on base?
Right.
Because we've already seen projects run that have sounded so solid.
Right.
Oh, I'm here. I love base. But now you've moved back to Solana, or you're
right.
Then what are you?
Or you literally just
left.
Right.
You just
right.
left. Maybe you didn't rug, but you just kind of left.
Right.
So I think, in defense of Jesse, I believe he wants to see you really be willing to put in the work. Now, Banks to put in the work almost a year.
Right.
Right. We haven't had any public confirmation from Jesse publicly.
Right.
But we've had some good talk. We had a good little conversation with him at On-Chain Summit.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
But we also know we got more work to do.
Right.
Obviously.
You told us things that we needed.
He told us what we needed to do. He wants to see certain things.
Right.
That's what we've been doing.
Right.
Right. That's why we've had our head down, right? Just building and grinding. So that's exciting. But me personally, Bongo, and is I just don't personally see the need for a base native token. Okay. I believe it muddies the water as an L2. Now, as an L1, And plus base, that's what kind of sets it apart. You know, we can talk about other L2s that have done this and they've launched a token and they're sitting at zero.
It's really not helping them.
It hasn't helped them.
Right.
Right.
By the way, just because I know Mr. Banks doesn't always like me when I do this, but I want to simplify things for those of you guys. Maybe you just came to crypto, you're just coming for the first time. You don't even know what an L1 or an L2 means, right? Can you explain a little bit the fundamental difference between what's an L1 and what is an L2?
Yeah, L1 is actually its chain. So you're the
layer one.
Layer one, right? Yeah. You're the main chain.
Right.
So layer 2 is what base is. It's built on top of something.
Right.
There's other chains.
So what is base built on top of?
So base is built on top of Ethereum.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
So Ethereum is the L1 for base, which makes L2 is base. So so to me, one of the reasons why we chose base is because they actually didn't have a token.
Right? Yeah, that's one of the things that attracted us.
It didn't muddy it. It didn't confuse the consumer.
What is the fee token? Is it going to be base? Is it going to be Ethereum? It was just Ethereum. It was ETH, right?
Really?
So people were used to ETH,
right? So I just believe that not having it. I also understand the reasons to have it, but I believe you also have to look at the reasons why, and the reasons of. And that's what I really would like to hear from Jesse, a more deep dive onto the why. Because I know, from us, we're not involved at a high level, right? With
the executive decision, the base team, right?
So we got to believe that there's maybe long-term plans. Definitely, I don't believe there'd be any plans to become, because it's already base chain. So there's really they're already built on the Optimus stack, and there's really no reason to do anything different. The speeds are incredibly fast.
One of the fastest chain, right?
So having the token, to me, just my opinion, it just muddies it. It doesn't mean it's necessarily bad.
Can I be polemical?
Yes.
Right. Let me maybe stir up something here, or maybe say what I really personally maybe might think could be happening, and you guys let us know. You let us know what you think. To me, it seems like this could be a money play. Right? Here's the reason why, right? Because for all the things you've said, they don't need it for speed. It's one of the fastest chains out there in terms of transaction speed. It's one of the cheapest chain out there in terms of cost of fees. It's built on the Ethereum, which is the largest L1, right? So in terms of having all the ducks already in place, we can fairly say that probably base is placed really well. It has a great brand recognition because of Coinbase, right? One of the bigger centralized exchanges in the world, really recognized, people love it. To me, is this maybe something that has to do with the fact that there's not enough inflows of money and volume that is circulating through base, and they're saying that, maybe if they do that, that could be money that they generate, perhaps. Maybe they're not making enough on the fees from transactions, which, by the way, I want to say that meme coins are probably generating more fees than any other sector on base.
Oh, absolutely. I believe the last time I looked, it was over 80%.
Right, over 80%. Right, of all fees generated on transactions going on in the base ecosystem are basically meme projects. So, what do you think?
Well, and that's only changed recently because of creator coins.
That's true. Because the creator
coins now have changed that overall dynamic of the transactional.
Right. One would argue that creator coins maybe are another forms of meme coins.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So tell me, what is your opinion on, is base really just doing this because of trying to generate income?
Well, I think, let me go back to what I said earlier. I think not being part of the base executive team, again, Jesse could invite us to be part of the exec, right? I think we would help him.
We would.
But going back to that comment, I believe that there's underlying things that we just don't know. I believe that with the Coinbase DEX integration,
right?
If that is so big that's such a big deal, and we're not even seeing the rewards or the benefits from that yet. I think they're signaling something more. With doing the overall DEX integration into Coinbase. And I know I'm saying a lot here. I believe if you if we could kind of pull back the curtain of Coinbase and Base and be a fly on the wall with Jesse and Brian in those rooms, I believe there's some issues that go even deeper with Coinbase because Coinbase wants everything on chain as well.
Right.
So you really, I believe there's, even though they're separate, we know they're not separate. I believe there's things that go together that tie in the needing this base native token, because I believe they're really looking at Binance as a competitor,
right?
And a compare now it's hard to compare L1 to an L2, right?
Maybe the comparison is Binance Coinbase.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right. And so I could see that happening.
Right.
Again, I haven't seen any official documents or any credible writings about what I'm saying. Because I just believe there's more to it than just launching a native token when you're built on Ethereum, the number one L1.
Right.
Why? And it works. And you're perfectly set.
Right. And yeah. So again, we don't have the answer, and I don't want to pretend like we do, right? But I mean, this is just an interesting conversation. You guys let us know. Go into the comment. Let us know what you guys think. Why would Base do something like this? What do you guys think could be some of the incentive for us to have the Base token? What could be something that you believe could be the reason behind why Jesse is doing something like that? We're going to be finishing. But before we finish, we want to talk about really kind of like what is on the roadmap. Where do we believe that we're going in terms of the Rob Banks project, and especially with On-Chain TV? Because if you guys are tuning in, again, thank you guys for tuning in. I see already here a couple of people who joined us. I see Zupals. I'm guessing that could be a project. Alade, I see you. Goku, I see you there. So big shout out to some of the newer people who are joining us. Amersky. I hopefully I'm not butchering your name there, but I appreciate you guys for tuning in. One of the things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned is we've been really working on the background, on the silence, to make sure that we're putting the work that it is required in order to see the success with On-Chain TV. And what is On-Chain TV? I want to make sure that, for those of you guys who might not know about On-Chain TV, you can go to onchaintv.io and be able to see what we have going on over there. So essentially, On-Chain TV is a curated platform where individuals have the ability to have curated experience when it comes to finance, when it comes to crypto, when it comes to money. So we're trying to put together a platform essentially similar to a video platform like YouTube. YouTube is not a competitor, so I want to make sure that's clear. But we're creating a platform like YouTube where creators can come, projects can come, builders can come, educators can come and be able to share their knowledge, share their projects, everything that has to do with crypto, finance, education, financial literacy. It's not going to be a place where you come and watch cooking videos, unless it has to do with financial literacy and crypto, right? It's not going to be a place where you just watch a bunch of random cat videos, unless this has to do with the cat project or something like that. But we really wanted to give a curated experience where people can come and have trusted content. They can come and watch some of their best project directly on On-Chain TV. So go to onchaintv.io and you'll be able to kind of see if you can create an account for free. You can create a channel for free. Just request your channel, do the application there. We're excited to bring more and more projects. We're still in the early phase of On-Chain TV. We're bringing in more content creators, so that's really excited. We're really excited about that. So if you're a content creator, you want to create content that has to do with financial education, that has to do with crypto, you're a project or you're a builder, you might also even be a KOL or an influencer that is focused on good quality content for crypto and finance, or you're just an educator. You like talking about money, educating people about money. We welcome you. We want you to be part of On-Chain TV as well. So, Mr. Banks, what is your forecast about really what we're doing on On-Chain TV? Where are we trying to go? How are we trying to build that? And how that is a strong pillar of what we're doing here with the Rob Banks project.
Yeah. So, Bongo, On-Chain TV is, wow, what an undertaking it has been.
Right.
I know we've been working on it for so long already, but it's still just, let's just use a word from Base, right? It's still day one.
Yeah, literally.
right? It's still day one.
Right.
And
Morning of day one.
The morning of day one, right?
Right.
We're not even in the afternoon yet.
Right.
But the fact that we have a working product already, we've got videos, we've got community that's created channels.
Right.
That's super exciting. But for us, going in before our release that we released on On-Chain TV at On-Chain Summit.
Right.
When we were out there. And leading into that, Bongo, what I was excited about was I got to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people committed to creating a channel. They built a lot of excitement with us, and that was really good. We had over 40 projects and content people who pre-registered or pre-committed to creating a channel with On-Chain TV, and so that was exciting. But it's really easy to get excited about something. It's a whole different thing when you got to actually do it.
Do the work.
You got to do the work, right? And we know video content's hard. We got a whole team, right, that does video editing, our editors, our
content writers, graphic designers.
So it's hard. It's easy just to turn on your screen and start talking, but is that really quality? Is that maybe the content's good, but as far as what you're saying is good, but is it really? Are you putting in the A work? Right. But for us, what we're doing, I believe we're building it right. I believe we're building a solid foundation. Right. Right now it's 100% Web 2, no Web 3 integration, which is what Coinbase wants. Right. They want simple onboarding because that's really who we're targeting is the newcomer, right? The newbie or the newer person into crypto to get in and learn more about crypto. How to get a wallet, how to do this, how to do that, as far as crypto goes. But for what we're doing, I don't want to say too much as far as our roadmap, right? I know we're going to talk about in future episodes as far as what some of those things are, right? When it comes to feature some Web3 functions inside of On-Chain TV.
That's going to be exciting. I can't wait for you guys to hear those.
Yeah, but one thing I do know, we have a couple other influencers who are going to be uploading videos in the near future. I know we've had one newer influencer come on board just recently, creating content, uploading content. But one thing, honestly, Bongo, if I can say, I sent you the video. I was encouraged that I found an old video from when YouTube.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
When YouTube launched. Now we're not in competition with YouTube. In fact, we're so far from it. Right. But you look at YouTube, the co-founders archived the video that they were talking, they had already been almost 90 days, a little over 90 days, and they only had 40 videos
on the platform.
Like, I don't know why that just when I watched that,
it sounds so unbelievable, right? Because YouTube now is such a behemoth, right? Yeah. Right.
And so you look at that, and as when I watched that old video of them sitting around talking about how discouraged they were, right? Because we get discouraged sometimes.
Yeah, it's not easy, right?
I mean, because we put all this work in. I mean, I don't think we worked less than 12 hours in a day. In a year and a half or two.
It's tough. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just so hard. So, but I was encouraged by that because it really shows us that we're on the right path because we're building such a solid foundation with the why. Yeah. Why we're building On-Chain TV. Right. And who we're building it for. And you said it, right? You're not going to watch cat videos on here. Right. Unless there's a way we can coin it. Right, or something, right? Or we can coin to something. But so just knowing our identity and who we are and what we're trying to do with On-Chain TV, I think everyone who believes in who we are as a bank's project and what we're building, with On-Chain TV, they can be proud of. Right. And really, my call out to anyone who's here now and who listens to this on replay is it's absolutely free to create an account at On-Chain TV.
Completely free. $3.99.
So I would ask you, if you're here, go to On-Chain TV, create an account, give us our flowers. Right? don't create a channel. Don't even request a channel. Yeah. Just go, you're here. Right. Right?
Just create an account. It's completely free. Nothing, no cost.
No cost.
No cost.
Absolutely free. Right. And that will show us for me, that would show us like, wow, thank you guys, right? And it also marks your place in history.
That's true.
Because of where we're going, right?
You want to be among the first 1,000 people who join on GTV.
That's right. So that would be my ask, right? Stay tuned for future episodes as far as when we get into how we're monetizing, right?
Some of the nitty gritty that we're about to release.
The good stuff, right? The people, because we're all here for one thing, unfortunately, right? But we're all here to make money, right? We're here to build something, and knowing that we build it, we're going to be rewarded. Right. We understand the long term, money is made in time, right? Time, just like we talked about, if buying ETH at $99 or sub 100.
Right. And holding on to it.
Holding on to it until it went to 5,000 and will go to 10 and whatnot. It's kind of the same thing with what we're building, right? We know what we're doing, and we're going to continue to build on a solid foundation. On-chain TV is our first product that we're releasing within the bank system.
So we're excited, and I want to make sure that we kind of close that. I mean, we promised you guys we'll do 45 minutes to an hour, and we're there. Mr. Banks, I feel good. I
love it. This was fun.
This was fun, right? We wanted to bring something that was a little bit different for you guys to kind of hear our thought process, what you guys think about that. Big shout out to Million Bits. Million Bits, thank you for putting us on the announcement with the bank statement. We're going to be doing this maybe on a weekly basis. So that's something that we wanted to make sure that you guys kind of hear from us. The Rob Banks team is going nowhere. We're working harder. We're continuing to push because we believe that there's big things ahead. For all of you guys who are investors, our holders, we love you guys. You're a part of the Banks family for sure. You guys, I can't wait to share some of the things that we've been cooking up for you guys. For those of you guys who maybe are what we call our day ones, right? Those of you guys who've been part of the family since the beginning, since last November. We're going to be celebrating 1 year together. So hopefully we have some exciting stuff for you guys as well. If you guys have any questions or anything that comes up or anything that's like, okay, hey, I would like to, to hear more, or I like this format better than the other format, or maybe there are topics that you guys want us to cover, right? If there's anything like that, send us a DM. Send us a message as well. You can send Mr. Banks on his own X account, myself on my own X account, or you can just write to the Rob Banks X account as well. Our team will be able to get back to you guys in terms of that. But any lasting words before we finish, Mr. Banks?
No, look, again, let me echo what you said. Thank you guys for sticking in. For those of you that have been on the whole time, thank you.
Right.
It means a lot, right? It means a lot when you do these things. And we're just going to commit to do these things every single week.
Right.
We believe it's necessary as the bank's community, and continue to build on our solid foundation overall.
Right.
So just say thank you guys for tuning in. If I just get tune in next week, mark your calendar, go ahead and set them.
Right.
Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Exactly.
Bank statements. We're going live here, and we're going to continue to tweak it. And get better at it. I think it was great.
I think it was great too.
I actually think it was great.
So there's even something that there's something I haven't told you about this. I'll tell you a little later after we're done. But there's something that I'm thinking of maybe starting to implement, that we might do something live for the community while we're on the bank statement episode. So stay tuned. We might talk more about that on this episode. Again, big shout out to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Let's continue to learn, earn, and build wealth together. This was episode 1.
Oh, I got one part.
Go ahead.
Tell the audience so they know how are we doing this drawing? What can they expect? Because who wants the share of the $50 here, right? Like
for sure.
So let them know, because I know we do the most honest transparency video, right?
with the wheel.
With the wheel.
Exactly.
Like everyone loves the wheel. I forget who it was. They send me messages. I love the wheel. I love the wheel.
Exactly.
That's what we are, right? We do everything. But tell everybody how they're going to get, how we're going to do that drawing.
So for the drawing, right, we're doing the $50 drawing for you to be able to win we're going to have 2 winners at $25 each. So the best way for you to do that, you go to our pinned post right now, okay, about this particular space. We want you to like, we want you to retweet, and we want you to tag 3 people. For those who haven't participated, they can come and rewatch the replay. We want as many people as possible to be part of the bank statements and what we do. So I can't wait for you guys to come back next week as well for episode 2. Mr. Banks as well is going to be. He has a lot more things in store for you guys, so I can't wait for you guys to be able to jump on some more spaces just with him.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be exciting too.
Well, yeah, and maybe the next statement will actually make a big announcement of what I'm going to be doing.
Hey.
Right? That would be super cool.
Right,
So,
right.
So maybe that will be something that we can talk about next bank statement as well.
Exactly.
But yeah, hey, look, go ahead and close us out, Bongo. Appreciate you guys. Love you.
Appreciate it. Thank you to all of you guys who tuned in. I see Covey, you're there. I see Raxon, you there. Grassfed, I see you there. Alder, XBT, I see you there. Rebecca, 24 million bits. Soulmate, Ziggy, Mitchie, Inca. So many, right? Too many for me to name, but I love you guys for tuning in to our episode 1. We can't wait to see you guys next week. Until then, be safe. Let's remember to learn, earn, and build wealth together.
Let's go.
Bye.